Note: File under review. Investigation into the event is still underway. Information contained herein has not been confirmed. Event summary. On April 14, 2020, the database at Site-72 reported a series of unauthorized file creations and modifications, specifically to documentation regarding SCP-5552. All past information on SCP-5552 has been lost, and possibly erased from the minds of personnel assigned to the project, as no individuals can confirm that the SCP-5552 slot had been previously assigned to an anomaly. The documentation itself has not demonstrated anomalous properties. However, all have been tagged with an upload timestamp of 13:43:28, which is the same time as when Dr. Gupta began a talk at the 6th International Conference on Physics, titled A Comprehensive Theory on Bidirectional Temporal Travel. What follows are the documents that manifested as a result of this event. Alright. My name is researcher Rowe Lucian, and today I'm going to be talking about SCP-5552. Item number SCP-5552 Explained. Special Containment Procedures. Not available. Description: SCP-5552-X is the window conduit, as described in A Comprehensive Theory on Bidirectional Temporal Travel, titled after the lead author on the paper, Jonathan Windle. The window conduit operates in a similar manner to closed time-like curvatures conjectured by Gödel. However, instead of operating like a wormhole might, which relies on immense amounts of energy to open, window conduits are opened and sustained through the vibration of Win-ion particles. Footnote 1. Proposed as an extension to the standard model of particle physics. Win-ion particles vibrate in accordance to an atom's wilt. Footnote 2. Proposed to be a property of matter like electrical charge or mass. Investigation into connections between wilt and phenomena observed by anomalies in containment is ongoing. According to Dr. Windle, the process for generating sufficient wilt to open a window conduit is significantly less resource-intensive than the theoretical method of opening a sizable wormhole. It is currently believed that Dr. Windle is working in conjunction with the UN to create a practical time machine. Attempts to gain further information about this project have been hindered by GOC interference. Addendum SCP-5552-1. Below is a transcript from examinations of Dr. Windle's paper to confirm its accuracy. Examination was led by the Cronus project leads, Dr. Cindy Helsman and Dr. Gupta. Begin log.
God, this is hard to read.
I mean, yeah, it's bland, but it's not like
emotionally, Cindy.
Oh, yeah. I should have guessed.
This is our research. Literally, our research. I swear half of these figures are copied straight from our draft.
I mean, we know a lot of people have been working in this field. It was a tight race.
It's fucking bullshit is what it is. Did you see the look on this guy's face? When he gave that talk, smuggest piece of shit I've ever seen.
You told me that at the conference.
And also, he named everything after himself. Fucking Wendell Conduit? Wen-ion?
Wilt?
I think that's his dog's name. A dog. A fucking dog has more physics phenomena named after it than I do.
Well, maybe something in here doesn't work out. Maybe the reviewers missed something.
It's my research. I've checked everything, as well as I checked my own numbers.
Our research.
Huh?
It's not your research. It's ours.
Oh, right. Slip of the tongue. Sorry.
It's all right.
Well...
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here either. It's all right.
Fuck.
We'll discover something else. We're persistent like that.
Following this meeting, the contents of Dr. Wendell's research was considered to be grounded well enough in our current understanding of physics to be considered explained rather than anomalous. Monitoring of the implementation of this research is to continue to ensure no additional anomalous phenomenon are discovered in the process. Addendum SCP-5552-2. On May 2, 2020, Foundation satellites detected a large visual disturbance in Nunavut, Canada. An area of 20 acres of land became entirely black, including all flora and fauna residing within that area. Foundation personnel were dispatched to the location. Below is a copy of their report.
Stevenson and I arrived at the scene around midday. The strange coloration could be seen in some of the grass and the trees on the edges of the affected area, but 10 feet in, everything was completely black. Well, not that the material had turned black. It was more like the light wasn't even reflecting off the surfaces. The ground was sturdy to stand on, but organic matter didn't fare as well. It maintained its stability until we touched it, but even with a slight brush, entire trees crumbled. Or I guess they more melted. They just fell apart. Stevenson grabbed a few samples to test later. We reached the center of the affected area. There was an opening in the ground, no larger than a manhole. We didn't trust the ladder built into the hole's walls, so we tied up a rope and rappelled down. Everything in the hole was black too, except for the walls. At first we thought they were made of stone, but they were far too soft for that. The hallways of the facility were mostly empty, save for a few safety notices with GOC branding on them. We found only one unlocked door, labeled Primary Construction Bay. We decided not to go inside, because the entrance was blocked by humanoid figures that had turned black, like the trees outside. We didn't want to break them. Stevenson did manage to get some pictures of just inside the room. The place was packed, everyone crowded around some sort of capsule in the middle, which was the only thing in there that kept its color. We think the inside was occupied, but we can't say for certain.
After being confronted with this report, a GOC official confirmed that this was the result of their efforts to realize the practical uses of Dr. Wendell's research. In order to avoid similar incidents regarding temporal research, the GOC agreed to transfer all documents and computations Dr. Wendell performed to the Foundation. Addendum SCP-5552-3. Below is a transcript from the Project Cronus team during their meeting to decipher and understand the writings of Dr. Wendell.
Hey, Naman.
Hey.
I know it must be hard to hear about what happened. I mean, I was as confident as you were that our work was correct. And while it's terrible what happened to Wendell and everyone, I'm at least grateful we didn't have to experience our failures firsthand.
Dumbass.
Huh?
Wendell, he's a fucking dumbass.
This isn't the time for being...
No. Like, look here. For the decay constant, you remember what we calculated that number out to.
Something like 14 decimals. Why?
Well, in the paper, it looked like he just rounded to 3 significant figures, but he only used a rounded number in his actual math as well.
Well, I mean, we only put the rounded numbers in the paper. Guess he didn't have our full data sets.
But you know what this means, right?
It might still work.
They haven't scrapped our budget, right?
Not yet.
So, do you want to build a time machine?
You really didn't have to ask.
Addendum SCP-5552-4. Utilizing the remains of their budget, Project Cronus constructed a bi-directional temporal traversal device, BTTD, over the course of 3 months. However, upon completion of the BTTD, Dr. Gupta and Dr. Helsman utilized the device without consulting the Foundation's Ethics Committee, the Catastrophic Phenomenon Contingency Planning Group, or the Department of Causality Consistency. What follows is the audio from the security cameras at the time of the project's use.
You're late.
And you haven't told me what you're doing.
I'm doing preliminary testing, and thought you should be here for the first trial of our project.
You're just going to use the time travel machine without telling anyone?
I'm telling you.
Naman.
You know no one will let me go back if I asked. And well, I need someone to activate the machine after I get inside.
But why are you doing this? Official testing is starting in less than a week anyways.
Cindy, I'm stealing our theory back.
Excuse me?
Our theory. It still has Jonathan's name on it. I'm stealing it back. I know it's been bothering you too. You pause a little every time you say window conduit. It keeps me up at night. He may have taken our work, but now we have a machine that lets us fix mistakes like that.
You sound absurd.
But you don't disagree.
God, this is so petty.
It's not petty. We worked on this for what, 5 years? Losing the product of 5 years of standing at the whiteboard, arguing over simulation results, and gathering test data isn't petty.
You know as well as I do that you can't control how much you change.
Yes. There's actions in life which set off long chains of events that have effects no one could predict, yada yada yada. But for every one of those actions, how many others have almost no impact on tomorrow? If you arrived here 3 minutes earlier, that wouldn't change the conversation we're having now. Only so many actions can mean something, and for all we know, I could be avoiding catastrophes instead of starting new ones.
That doesn't sound very scientifically sound.
I've run some of the numbers. I'm almost certain that if I just help us come up with some of our interpretations of the data a little faster, I can recreate everything without any significant difference up through us publishing our research.
How far back are you going?
January, so 8 months. Should give me enough time to speed our research along so we could publish in the particle physics conference in March, before Jonathan is able to steal it.
Fine. Just promise me that we get co-first author.
That was always the plan.
Hop in.
Thank you so much.
Good luck!
I won't need it. I should have as many tries as I need.
That was the least comforting thing he could have said.
Alright. My name is researcher Rowe Lucian, and today I'm going to be talking about SCP-5552 Explained. Special Containment Procedures. Not available. Description: SCP-5552-X is the Gupta-Hellsman Gate, as described in a comprehensive theory on bidirectional temporal travel. Titled after the lead authors on the paper, Gupta and Cindy Hellsman. This paper was presented on March 14, 2020 at the International Conference on Particle Physics, after a board of Foundation personnel reviewed the paper and deemed the science sufficiently in line with baseline assumptions to be considered non-anomalous. The Gupta-Hellsman Gate operates in a similar manner to closed time-like curvatures conjectured by Gödel. However, instead of opening like a wormhole might, which relies on immense amounts of energy to open, Gupta-Hellsman gates are opened and sustained through the vibration of vibron particles. Footnote 1. Proposed as an extension to the standard model of particle physics. Vibron particles vibrate in accordance to an atom's wilt. Footnote 2. Proposed to be a property of matter like electrical charge or mass. Investigation into connections between wilt and phenomena observed by anomalies in containment is ongoing. According to Dr. Gupta and Dr. Hellsman, the process for generating sufficient wilt to open a Gupta-Hellsman gate is significantly less resource-intensive than the theoretical method of opening a sizable wormhole. The Foundation has allocated additional resources to Gupta and Hellsman's Cronus project to build a device that demonstrates the principles within their paper. Addendum SCP-5552-1. Below is a partial transcript from the Cronus Project lead meeting regarding the construction of a bidirectional temporal traversal device, BTTD, as proposed in their paper.
I can't believe they actually let us publish.
Honestly, I'm more surprised they're letting us build it.
Well, of course they want us to build it. It's the Foundation.
Right.
Something wrong?
I guess I'm just nervous.
Don't worry, everyone is.
Except you, apparently.
Oh, I'm nervous. I'm just good at hiding it. Now, let's get to scheduling, shall we?
Right.
I think we could get this thing done in about 3 months. That sound okay to you?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
All right. We'll be testing in 3 months, and let's work backward from there.
Addendum SCP-5552-2. Below is the timetable for the construction of the BTTD. Task: BTTD Traveler Capsule Design. Task Lead: Gupta. Deadline: April 23rd, 2020. Completed on time. Should be able to activate the BTTD from inside the capsule. Wilt Generation Cell Design. Helsman. May 9th, 2020. Completed on May 14th, 2020. Temporal Stability Insurance Computations. Helsman. May 21st, 2020. Completed on June 3rd, 2020. BTTD Traveler Capsule Construction. Gupta. May 23rd, 2020. Completed on time. Additional materials have been reserved for a second capsule. Wilt Generation Cell Construction. Helsman. June 3rd, 2020. Completed on June 20th, 2020. Testing Proposal. Gupta. June 14th, 2020. Completed on time. Requested a total of 3 different trials, both with forward and backwards temporal travel. Safety checks. Helsman. June 22nd, 2020. Not available. Addendum SCP-5552-3. On July 2nd, 2020, Helsman was confronted about her inability to meet the deadlines of the project. What follows is a transcript of the meeting.
Cindy, we need to talk. We're falling behind schedule.
I know.
Like, I appreciate all the safety checks and recalculations you're doing, but I need you to trust me.
But you know how dangerous this thing can be. If we're not right down to the 14th decimal, this could cause a catastrophic amount of damage.
So you don't trust me?
No. I trust you. But, I don't trust myself. I feel like I'm always a few steps behind you, trying to play catch-up. There's something about all of this that just clicks for you, and it's not clicking for me. It's frustrating. This was supposed to be our project, but it doesn't quite feel like mine anymore.
Would you like me to tell you something that might make you feel better?
If you can, go ahead.
I know this is going to work because it already has.
You've already used it, haven't you?
I traveled back to January because if we didn't publish by March, our research was going to be stolen.
January. But that's when we started getting experimental data.
I just sped everything up is all. I knew what equations we were going to be able to extract so I could skip a few steps.
But that was supposed to be my job.
I know, but...
You were good with concepts and theories, and I was good with the equations and making the numbers mean something. That was how we were supposed to divide the work. But then you just stole my equations from me.
But you already solved them. You solved them last time all on your own. I was totally useless.
But I wasn't there last time. This time, I didn't do shit.
But it's the same you.
I don't feel like I contributed. I feel like I've been playing second fiddle.
I'm sorry. I told you my plan when I left, and you said it was fine.
I can keep telling you that wasn't me. Whoever that was obviously wasn't thinking about how it'd feel to have her equations stolen.
I think she knew.
Well, then she was being a dumbass.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
It's fine. Nothing can be done now. How long until we're finished with this damn project?
If we go at our predicted pace, another month.
Thank God.
Addendum SCP-5552-4. In the morning of July 15, 2020, Site-72 experienced two major power outages. One at 3:34 a.m. and another at 3:56 a.m. Security camera footage prior to the 3:34 outage showed Dr. Helsman accessing the primary testing area for the BTTD, logging information into the main control panel and entering the BTTD traveler capsule. Security personnel immediately ensured that the initial power outage did not result in a containment breach, and were unable to inspect the BTTD primary testing area before the second power outage occurred, which happened less than 2 minutes after power had been re-established at the site. Initial inspection of the BTT primary testing area occurred at 4:23 a.m., where personnel discovered a black powdery substance scattered around and inside the BTTD traveler capsule. The door to the BTTD traveler capsule was closed, and readings from the BTTD control panel indicated recent use. Additionally, a letter was found on the ground next to the control panel. Below is a transcript.
I'm not sure if you will see this, since I'm not sure what happens after I activate the machine, but in case you do, know that I'm not mad. Well, not at you, specifically. I know you were just trying to get our work back. I know how it must have felt to have your work stolen from you. I get it must have been frustrating and painful, and you wanted to fix that, but I was robbed of the opportunity to have a breakthrough entirely. You took my aha moment from me, and I want it back. I'm going back. I'm making sure you don't help me with my part of the project, and then I'm shoving a syringe full of amnestics up my arm so I can experience it. The feeling of discovery. That moment when I solve a problem no one else can. If I've done it before, like you've said, I should just have to reset everything, and I can do it again. I don't care if the research gets stolen. At least this time, it will really be our theory.
On the back of the letter is a series of calculations and numbers, appearing to be somebody's scratch work. At the bottom, a number is circled, and below it is written the following. Dr. Gupta, who was seen in the security footage sleeping in his office prior to the 3:34 power outage, could not be located. Alright. My name is Researcher Rowe Lucian, and today I'm going to be talking about SCP-5552. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. The Cronus project is to continue its research into the existence of SCP-5552. Description: SCP-5552 is a theoretical method to travel backwards in time. The exact nature of SCP-5552, as well as whether or not it can be replicated in a controlled manner, is still unknown. Discovery: evidence for the existence of SCP-5552 occurred on July 4, 2018, when reality stability beacons at Site-72 indicated a retrocausal reality shift. However, due to the lack of discontinuity in the cause and effect predictions from the beacons, it was determined that a large-scale reality-altering event did not occur. The resulting conclusion was that temporal travel must have taken place. The Cronus Project research team was directed to determine the source or subject of this temporal travel. However, their search was unsuccessful. Addendum SCP-5552-1. Below is a timeline of the Cronus Project's progress. Date: November 14, 2017. Event: The Cronus project was initiated by Drs. Gupta and Cindy Helsman. January 22, 2018. Dr. Gupta proposes a string theory-inspired hypothesis for reverse directional time travel. March 8, 2018. Dr. Gupta's theory was deemed highly unlikely after it did not fit any of the models created by Dr. Helsman. March 19, 2018. Dr. Gupta proposes a theory for reverse directional time travel based on quantum entanglements. May 20th, 2018. Dr. Gupta's theory is contradicted by experimental evidence gathered by Dr. Helsman. July 4th, 2018. Cronus project directed to locate the source of the alerted retrocausal reality shift. August 4th, 2018. Search for the source of retrocausal reality shift disbanded. Modification to the current timeline deemed sufficiently insignificant to ignore. October 14th, 2018. Dr. Gupta promoted to site director, leaving the Cronus project. January 22nd, 2019. Dr. Helsman proposes a theory for reverse directional time travel based on classical relativity. May 3rd, 2019. Dr. Helsman's theory is abandoned due to lack of consistent relativistic behaviors at the quantum scale. July 22nd, 2019. Dr. Helsman proposes a theory for reverse directional time travel based on quantum mechanics. October 2nd, 2019. Dr. Helsman's theory is abandoned for being too similar to Dr. Gupta's quantum entanglement theory. January 11th, 2020. Dr. Helsman proposes a theory based on the standard model of particle physics. April 14, 2020. Dr. Helsman's theory is abandoned due to a lack of progress. Addendum SCP-5552-2. What follows is a transcript of the monthly status meeting between Dr. Helsman and Dr. Gupta, held on April 16, 2020.
So, I see you abandoned another theory.
Yeah?
You know, it's harder for me to keep justifying your funding if you're not getting anywhere.
I know, Naman.
So, why do you abandon this one?
I mean, really, it's the same reason I abandoned all the other ones. Not enough progress and too much pointing against it.
I thought this one seemed promising.
Really? You think that time travel being based on the rotation of gluons is promising?
I mean...
I don't even know what I was thinking when I proposed it. It's fucking stupid. We already have gluons tied to the strong force.
I just think maybe this line of investigation is worth going down.
Naman, I've been at this for more than 2 years, and all I've hit are fucking dead ends.
But I know you can do it.
That's what you've been telling me for the past year. And while they're nice words, they've been kind of useless.
Well, it's not my job to do the research.
It used to be. We used to be a team, and then you left me for what? For management. Do you even enjoy that?
I am in this position because I want to be.
And maybe that's because you don't even enjoy research anymore. And here you are, telling me to chase geese.
Or maybe it's because I was better at research.
You know what? You can fuck off. Take my funding. See if I give a shit.
She'll thank me later. Or maybe not. But she'll be grateful nonetheless.
Addendum SCP-5552-3. During the night of April 16, 2020, security personnel at Site-72 reported a sudden significant alteration to rooms 118, 119, and 121, which contained the Project Cronus laboratory, cubicles for Project Cronus personnel, and the office of Dr. Helsman, respectively. The walls, floor, ceiling, and all contents of these rooms had morphed into a black substance. Objects made of this substance retained their shape until disturbed, at which point they would assume a more liquid-like state. Security personnel reported 3 casualties. 2 of these casualties were researcher Yufi Aizu and janitor Ivan DeVault, who were presumed to be engaged in conversation at the time of the events, based on their poses at the time of discovery. The third was Dr. Cindy Helsman, who was most likely listening to a voicemail on her phone. What follows is the transcript of the most recent voicemail received by Dr. Helsman prior to the events.
Hey, Cindy. Sorry about what I said earlier. I didn't mean most of it. I didn't mean the part about me being the better researcher. Honestly, I left the project because I wanted it to be your discovery. It's frustrating for both of us to see you bang your head against this problem. But if you want, I can come back to the project. We can make this our theory again.
Following the April 16, 2020 event, Dr. Gupta took over the Cronus project. The Cronus project was also moved from Site-72 to Site-53, after the entire eastern wing of Site-72 experienced a similar event to that described above. See Cronus Project Special Reports for details.
Project Cronus Eyes Only. The following file describes an anomaly currently under investigation, and is Level 4, 5552 classified. Unauthorized access is forbidden.
Alright. My name is researcher Rowe Lucian, and today I'm going to be talking about SCP-5552. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. The Cronus project is to continue research to confirm the details of SCP-5552. While it is possible that SCP-5552 related phenomena can be explained given our current understanding of science, they have been deemed anomalous until further progress has been made. Description: SCP-5552 refers to a theoretical method of travel between parallel universes with similar cause and effect chains. Details regarding the exact nature of SCP-5552, as well as the parallel universes it can access, are under investigation by the Cronus Project, led by Dr. Naman Gupta and Dr. Cindy Helsman. Addendum SCP-5552-1. What follows is the transcript of the meeting on July 4th, 2018, between Dr. Helsman and Dr. Gupta, first proposing the existence of SCP-5552.
You're late.
Only by a minute.
You're still late.
Naman, are you okay? You seem a little more restless than normal.
Sorry, I'm just anxious.
Anxious about what? Paper deadline?
No.
Then what is it?
Okay, Cindy, I'm about to say something that sounds incredibly stupid, but I'm going to need you to believe me, alright?
Okay.
I might be from the future. Yeah?
But what does that mean?
So it's like this. I know for certain that I came from somewhere that on April 16, 2020, you die and I take over the Cronus Project.
Wait. You're saying I die in 2 years?
Well, that's assuming I'm from the future, because there's another option. I'm from a parallel universe, and I didn't travel in time at all.
Well, I mean, if you're from a parallel universe, then wouldn't that mean you still traveled back in time?
No. In this scenario, I actually can't travel backwards in time. It'd be impossible. It'd just be an illusion, since each of the universes are temporally offset.
I don't follow.
No, it's like time zones. Here it's 3, but in California it's noon. Here it's April 4th, but in another parallel universe it's March 6th. You can't travel backwards in time, but you can travel to a parallel universe that started a month later than this one. And that's almost the same thing.
Okay. And why do you think this is what you've been doing instead of time travel?
Well, not all parallel universes are created equal. In fact, a lot of them are probably unstable. So at certain points in time, arbitrary groups of particles will just they'll lose stability. But not entirely, they go black and they crumble, and it's like the very fabric of reality just wilts away.
You know you sound crazy, right?
Yes, but haven't I always sounded insane? Most of what I say sounds absurd, yet you still run the numbers for me, because we both know I might be right.
Do you want me to start making models?
That would be fantastic.
Addendum SCP-5552-2. 2 weeks following this proposal, Site-72 personnel reported concerns about Dr. Gupta's mental well-being. Dr. Gupta was only seen leaving his office to go to the bathroom and to get food from the cafeteria, which he would then eat in his office. Dr. Green, occupying a neighboring office, reported hearing Dr. Gupta shout the phrase, "It doesn't make sense," and other variants with similar meaning. Dr. Hausman was requested to speak with Dr. Gupta, as he has refused meetings with other personnel.
I'm busy.
Even for me?
Sorry, I'm just stressed still.
You seem a little more than stressed. People are worried about you.
I know, I'm fine.
You know, you used to get lunch with everyone else. Might be good to get your mind off of work.
I can't.
Because?
It's just, there's so much I still can't explain. Like how I've only traveled to similar parallel universes, why haven't I blasted myself off to a world where Earth doesn't even exist?
Well, I have some news. Not sure if it'll help or not.
I'm listening either way.
I haven't been able to get your parallel universe theory to work.
Oh.
Yeah. Mostly the stability part. What you're describing just doesn't fit with anything, really.
I see.
I mean, we'll come up with another theory. It sounds like we've been able to explain everything so far.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Take a few days off. You said I'd die in 2 years, right? We still have time.
Yeah. I'll do that.
Dr. Gupta was approved for vacation between July 19, 2018 and July 26, 2018. Addendum SCP-5552-3. On July 24, 2018, Site-72 experienced a mass alteration to its molecular structure, as well as the molecular structure of all personnel and materials within. This alteration resulted in all affected materials taking on a charcoal-like structure that collapsed into a liquid state when disturbed. Dr. Gupta ended his vacation early, taking over the Cronus project and moving it to Site-53. Alright. My name is researcher Rowe Lucian, and today I'm going to be talking about SCP-5552. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Research is to continue into the stabilization of SCP-5552 affected particles. Description: SCP-5552 refers to the order of a particle. Order is a measurement of how well the position, velocity, and rotation of a particle can be predicted given the state of the universe at the time of the Big Bang. Since the state of any individual particle is influenced by its collisions with nearby particles, the introduction of low-order particles will result in the lowering of the order of the entire system. Macrostructures with order below a certain threshold will lose temporal stability. This lack of stability immediately results in a breaking and rearrangement of bonds between the particles, to keep them anchored in their current position and trajectory along the temporal axis. This manifests in the creation of a black powdery substance that occupies the same space as the structure at the time of stability loss, but will collapse into a liquid-like state upon disturbance. This transformation is termed wilting. April 16, 2018 update.
I was going to pitch this to Cindy today, but apparently her whole neighborhood wilted last night. 46 houses, 166 casualties. The Foundation is trying to play it off as a fire. I guess this means I'm in charge of the Cronus project again. Although, I don't want to rush it. Not this time. I keep just diving back into the past, but not this time. This time, I'm waiting until I know my theory works. But I think I could figure something out. There's something about this one that just feels right.
May 3rd, 2018, update.
I'm finally ready to start making the models. I tried running my theory by Dr. Green. He couldn't find anything immediately wrong, but then again, he specializes in generalized reality disturbances, so this isn't exactly his field. In fact, I don't think there's anyone here who specialized in this field. Well, Cindy used to. Either way, I'm ready to start putting together the models. If there's somewhere that my theories fall apart, it's here.
June 18, 2018, update.
The northern wing of Site-72 wilted today. Luckily, none of my equipment was stored there. But they're moving everyone to Site-53 anyways. They gave me the same office as last time, too. I'm going to start building the BTTD now. I don't want to be screwed when this place also wilts.
July 23rd, 2018, update.
I haven't made any progress. Fucking nothing. This modeling software Cindy uses is so damn confusing. Every time I get past one error message, it throws another one at me. Or I learned that I had the equations wrong.
September 2nd, 2018, updates.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and I don't know why I haven't wilted yet. In fact, I don't know how I don't wilt the moment I activate the time machine. Everything around me seems to collapse, but I'm fine. Why am I fine? I shouldn't be fine. Maybe the models will give me some insight. I got Dr. Green to help me make the model run. Now all I have to do is play with parameters until I get a lock on what makes this theory tick.
September 26, 2018, update.
I don't know how Cindy ever did this. There's so many constants, so many variables to tune. I've looked back at her notes and they make no sense. She eliminates so many possibilities so quickly. Like there's some sort of an art to this that I can never grasp or understand. She was so good at this.
October 8th, 2018, update.
I think I know why I'm stable. There's only been one variable changing between each iteration. It's me. Which would imply that I should be the one wilting. I should be the one crumbling, destabilizing, collapsing into a puddle of particles. But what if my order from previous jumps carries over? What if I'm being held together by the order from my original timeline? Then again, if everything in any given timeline should have stable order, and I have stable order, then the wilting must be coming from me. I'm destabilizing the timeline here, which is dumb now that I write it out. Of course it was all me. Of course this is all my fault. Of course I'm the reason Cindy turns into a pile of fucking ashes every time I try to fix everything.
December 1st, 2018, update.
Screw it. I can't get the models to work. They finished the BTTD yesterday, so I'm going back in time and getting Cindy to do it. Then we'll be able to fix everything. I just need her help.
Alright. My name is Researcher Rowe Lucian, and today I'm going to be talking about SCP-5552. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures.
Oh, fuck it. I was wrong. Everything had wilted by the time I arrived. I drove to Site-72. The whole southern side of the building had already crumbled into black tarry mess. There were a few guards out front to keep civilians out, but other than them, the whole site was empty. They let me back in to get my stuff. Apparently this time, the Cronus project made faster progress than last time. The time machine was mostly done. As a bonus, we reconstructed the walls out of the soft material we found at the GOC, I think 6 timelines ago now? There's still food in the cafeteria. I think I'm going to hole up here for a while. The place still has power, probably because the Foundation doesn't want to take any risks and let something escape from here that they might have forgotten to take with them. Can't stop working. I need to fix my theory, and then I'll fix everything else. Progress is going even slower now. I don't think I could ever get these models to work for me the same way Cindy did. I read through some of the reports of Wilting in other parts of the world. A long stretch of land in France, 2 towns in Thailand, and an entirety of K2 are gone. I'm afraid the next time I look out the window, instead of seeing the forest behind Site 72, I'll see scorched ground and crumbling trees. The soft walls here seem fitting. I think something about the material is resistant to wilting. But really, it just contributes to the insane asylum feel. All I'm missing is a straitjacket. My order theory is finally dead. And no, not because I got the models to work. My pocket watch wilted. I'd had that since I was 16 when my grandfather gave it to me. And now it's just black dust. I'm back at square one. No theory, no models, not even someone to bounce ideas off of. I've taken to talking to myself to get my ideas out of my head, but that only works so well. It's funny, because all the clocks in this place stopped working weeks ago. The only reliable time-telling device I have left is my computer, and honestly, I'm beginning to suspect its time zone is drifting. I googled Jonathan Wendell on a whim. Most of what I read just made me mad. Got his PhD from Stanford in theoretical physics. Has tenure at Caltech. Leading a joint project with Oxford on time travel. A lot of papers published. A lot of talks given. But then I started reading about his personal life. Turns out he never owned a dog. So then how did he come up with the name Wilt? I got the name originally from him. But where did he get it from? I mean, I have a theory. All I'm good for is theories. But I've been using wilting to describe the destabilization process. It's just such an accurate description of the phenomenon. Wilt. Everything turns black and then collapses, like a flower in winter. Wilting away. I remember, Cindy wanted to go back in time and do everything over again. She wanted to kick me off the project, wipe her memories, and solve the problem herself. It was a clever idea. Set up everything to be just the way you would have wanted it, and then forget what happens next, so you can experience it for yourself anew. What if I've seen this all before? What if Cindy saw all this before? What if the only way to stop it was to stop us from inventing time travel in the first place? We'd go back, give Wendell all research, but not the proper numbers. He'd publish first and then perish first when he makes the machine. We'd think our theory was wrong. We'd stop. God, we're too clever for ourselves. Except I can't prove it. I can't prove jack shit. Maybe he doesn't have a dog in this timeline, but he had a dog in that one. Or maybe he just came up with the name on his own in a happy little coincidence. It's just a theory. Just another useless theory. I miss Cindy. I hate this. I have nothing. I feel close to an idea, it slips out of my fingers, and I lose my train of thought entirely. I've been here for far too long. I'm banging my head against the walls, and I don't even feel anything because they're soft. There has to be a reason. I've been able to travel back in time reliably, and yet I can't explain why. It's pathetic. I'm not used to doing this on my own. It's not like I was ever able to solve these problems on my own. It was our theory after all. It took 2 of us to solve. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe the theory is mocking me for trying to solve it myself, running me through a maze with no exit. It was kind of silly for us to think that we'd be able to travel back in time in the first place, wasn't it? That we would be able to make it work even though no one else has. Maybe things would be better without our theory. You know, that doesn't sound so bad. I have little else to lose.
Alright. My name is Researcher Rowe Lucian, and today I'm going to be talking about SCP-5552. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. All SCP-5552 instances are to remain Level 4 classified. Description: SCP-5552 refers to a series of 6 documents that appeared within the Site-72 database on April 14, 2020. All documents appear to be related to SCP-5552, a previously unassigned SCP slot. The documentation itself has not demonstrated anomalous properties. However, all have been tagged with an upload timestamp of 13/43/28, which has been estimated to be the same time as when Dr. Gupta began a talk at the 6th International Conference on Physics, titled A Comprehensive Theory on Bidirectional Temporal Travel. Investigation into possible anomalous phenomenon connected with SCP-5552 provided no conclusive evidence to corroborate the details found within these documents. To avoid possible time continuity errors, parties mentioned within SCP-5552 were not informed, nor directly questioned about the contents of SCP-5552. The main anomalous property of these documents is their unexplained appearance within the Site-72 database. Addendum SCP-5552-1. On May 2, 2020, Foundation satellites detected a large visual disturbance in Nunavut, Canada. An area of 20 acres of land had become entirely black, including all flora and fauna residing within that area. GOC resources informed the Foundation that this was the result of a catastrophic failure during an attempt to realize Dr. Gupta's research. As a result of this development, Dr. Alan Green was directed to reopen investigation into SCP-5552. What follows is Dr. Green's interview with Dr. Cindy Helsman that took place on May 6, 2020. Under the guise of a post-mortem for her Cronus project.
Hello, Cindy.
Hey, Alan.
I know it's been rough, losing the project and all. Let's just get through this wrap-up interview quickly.
Seems a little late. They reassigned me 2 weeks ago.
It is, but you know how the bureaucracy here goes.
Whatever. There isn't much to wrap up anyways. Go ahead.
Does the term wilt sound familiar to you?
Not really.
What about, window conduit?
Haven't heard of that either. Am I supposed to?
You're doing fine. Don't worry about it. Now, do you know a Dr. Gupta?
Yes. He's the lead author on the GOC paper about time travel.
Have you actually met Dr. Gupta?
No. Honestly. I still haven't even seen his talk.
That's understandable.
He died recently, right?
Yes, he did. There was an accident when he was testing his time machine.
Huh.
Is everything okay, Cindy?
I don't get it.
You don't get what?
I'm crying, Alan. Why am I crying?
I have a theory, but I don't think it's important. Not everything needs an explanation.
Alright. That's all I have to say about this subject.